Here, just drive like that. This is such a good example of converting a bus. So when we did the floors, if you watch that video, you'll remember that we were like, meh, we're gonna leave the seat there. We're not gonna worry about the floor under there. We have the rest of it done, no big deal. We have water coming in through a side, like, I don't even know how to describe it. There's water coming in a bit. We don't have leaks anywhere except in this one area, and it's getting the floor, but in the driver's area, a little bit rusty. The wood's a little bit like soggy and nasty, just how the floor was when we were doing the rest of it. So we were really hesitant to mess with the seat just because it's an air seat, and we just didn't want to mess with that whole system. At this point, it doesn't feel as scary as it did then. We're just going to take care of it. We have all the tools we need to get it done, so we're just going to tackle that. Hopefully, I mean, the OSFO is going to have to cure the metal, the rusty metal underneath, and we're going to have to do a couple things, so it's not going to be a one-day thing, but it should be pretty quick at this point because we know what we're doing, mostly. So we're going to do that. So we just undid the bolts that were down here holding the seat belts in and the seat itself, and it is exactly like it was. Undoing the seats, you just have to have someone underneath holding while someone up top loosens the bolts. They're a little rusty. So same situation, slightly different tools based on bolt size and stuff, but yeah. So now we're trying to detach the air hose, and then we can pull that seat off. I think that's the last piece, right? Then we can pull the seat off and start ripping up this floor. I think we're also gonna need to detach the control panel from the floor to cut up and remove the floor, and then we can clean it up and paint it with OSFO and do that whole thing again. Ta-da!
It's so rotted it just sunk right back in with the weight of the drill.
Feels familiar, yeah? This is exactly why we decided to do this. That is, the wood is soaking wet. So, yeah. And it's butting right up against the new floor that we laid and leaking onto that. So, there's rust under there. So, we need to treat this and fix it.
So we're putting down our old base layer for our seat. We put some kill mat down there after we put some OSFO on there and painted it with some Rust-Oleum to seal it. So this is what we have. So we have the kill mat down to help with some noise vibration. We're gonna put down this sheet of 5mm little plywood or press board. And then we're also going to add a little bit of glue down here, put that down, and then screw that in. Screws. Mm-hmm.
the floor glued and screwed in. And we have this peel and stick flooring that we got from Home Depot. It was like 20 bucks for this whole box.
So basically, we went with this peel and stick linoleum because it was 20 bucks, pretty cheap for a small area. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Most of it's going to be covered by the seat anyways. And we needed something that was kind of waterproof, durable, that can hold up to coming in and out of, because this is also kind of going to be like maybe a mudroom-ish area. So we're going to have dirt, water in here. We need it to be somewhat durable. So that's why we went with the peel and stick flooring. Also, it'll be easier to fit around the steering column and the gas and brake pedal.
Because we're going to put it directly on the kill mat back there. It'll be a little too challenging to do wood floor in there, so we're just going to stick it right on top of that. We may regret that later, but I think it'll be fine.
So, and then this section right here where our main floor comes in here, we're just going to do a small transition piece. Maybe, 2-inch wide molding and just kind of nail it in there. One.
You sure we don't want the seams in the front?
2. Like that.
Yeah.
And then where the seat is
Do you remember where the bubbles are? They're all the way back.
They're back here.
Okay.
So this section of seams should be covered by the seat. So then it's just 3 seams up there.
Okay.
And then that mess.
This morning to reinstall the seat after doing the flooring down there, but decided that it would be a lot easier to build out the dash and kind of cover up all this space with the seat out of there. So we're gonna do that first before we reinstall the seat, and part of that was cleaning up all of these wires. So if you've watched any of our videos, you know that those have been a mess for quite some time, and now they're all tucked away beautifully. So yeah, now we're gonna work on building out the dash, not entirely. We're gonna stop right about at the edge of whatever that's called, the console, I guess, so that we don't make it hard to bring stuff in and out of the bus, since we're still very much working, but we'll build out the dash area. Otherwise, install our seat, and then that area is done for a bit.
All right, so we're gonna build our wooden wall that comes up and then connects across to the top right up here. And so I had a gap between my fuse panel and the floor, so I just cut a little 1x3, slid it under there. I'm gonna screw that down, and then that'll also give us an anchor support for our 1/2-inch piece of wood that we're gonna stick right in here. And hopefully we'll get at least this top shelf done and down today. Because I can't put anything right up against it because the screws are sticking out.
Grounding.
So we'll do that coming up, and then this will come out, and we'll anchor that in. So this will be about here.
So you have a similar...
It'll be a similar setup as what was originally there, and then all the controls are going to be able to feed up from the bottom.
Okay, cool.
So we just need to anchor. I don't want to anchor this yet because we want to put in that through the roof. And then we get a seam here. So I'm just going to get the measurement, get these cut and kind of dry fit.
Why can't you go ahead and anchor it and then just through the roof around it?
Because there's a seam that runs right under that board.
Go ahead and put it on it, wet, and then put that right over top, don't you think?
I can, I just...
As well, let's do it. Meanwhile, We have a lizard friend climbing up our wall, head bobbing. Did you see him? Just a little head bob.
Oh, yeah.
Do not go inside, dude.
You are big.
You just scared the shit out of me. Because apparently that's the noise lizards make. Don't go inside, bro.
Now I can see your whole face.
Hey, remember the stuff we really like? We're gonna use it to seal the floor because we do things strangely. We just want it to be waterproof-ish up here, so And we're not gonna grout, so whatever.
We're sealing the seams in the floor.
What did I say?
Seal the floor.
Whatever. I like how the only time you're descriptive is when you're making fun of me. Otherwise, you're like, hey, grab the thing. You know, the thing. How do you not know what I'm talking about? Grab the thing.
The rectangle thing.
Well, no,
It's
it's
a
probably
square.
a square if you ask for a rectangle.
Anyways.
So we added another board down here on the floor because we want this piece to be screwed in, but we have to be careful about, that's our, what's it called? I want to say fuse box, electrical panel thing, control.
Fuse panel.
Fuse panel? It's the thing on the side of the bus that opens up and has lots of wires and fuses and stuff. And so a lot of the grounding wires are on the opposite side of this wall. And so that's kind of like this thing that's impeding how we put that up. So we put another piece of wood so it can come out a little further. We're working on tweaking that.
So we have our side panel here. Cut a small one for this back end. And I'm just going to make a couple little marks down here. And that's where I'm going to need my board to line up. And I'm going to take these, just little pieces of wood, drop them on the back side, screw them in. So then when I nail this in, I have something to nail into it. So I have this top piece here, and I just marked where the top of the wood is on the sheet metal here because obviously I don't have anything to mount that wood into over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pieces of wood again, and I got 3/4 inch plywood, so I'm going to go down from that line 3/4 of an inch and screw those into the sidewall, and that will give us an anchor spot. So we got everything cut. We have some brackets up, some little wood spaces up here, so I'll be able to use our nail gun and tack it in that way. Same with the bottom and the side. So well, in about 5 minutes we'll have a somewhat finished side panel here. That piece.
Okay.
So I figured out where I want to put my controls. It's only going to be 3 things. So I'll have my headlight switch about here. My dimmer switch is going to be kind of right across from that. Then our door switch to open the doors, and then I'm going to leave this space open, so maybe if I want to put in a cup holder or like a little tray for my phone or change or pins or you know, kind of whatever, that'll be in this open area. So this is going to be the back side of the console, so it's going to sit like this. but on the underneath side is where I drew out what I'm going to be cutting. So number 4 is going to be my door control. I got my clearance light switch, I got my dimmers, and then my headlight switch. So I marked them out. I'm going to drill through, use the jigsaw and cut out the squares, and hopefully this works. So we shall see. So I had to use the multi-tool to cut down because I'm using 3/4 inch plywood here, and my door control, the threads on it are only 1/4 inch, so I had to cut down into it. So when I stick my door control through, I'm able to screw on the top and have it sit secure. So I got all my holes cut. Unfortunately, a little piece when I was trying to clean up the edge broke off. I'm not going to recut the board. I don't think that it's worth my time. I'm just going to do some glue and then we'll be able to seal it up. Also, it's what it is. Shit happens. Sucks, but I don't want to waste any more time cutting another board. Wasn't extremely hard, but I mean it was kind of tedious. So all the controls fit in there, so that's what I'm gonna do next, and yeah, we're gonna have console done.
So we basically just had to disconnect. They all come apart in different ways, but disconnect them, slide it through the top, or yeah, slide it from the top and then connect it at the bottom. So while Shane was working on it, he accidentally chipped off a tiny piece up top, but totally not worth redoing. We're just gonna try and sand it down, clean it up a tiny bit, and then not stain it, but treat it with tung oil, and it will be just perfect.
This part pulled out.
Pulled out how was it cut?
Yep. So from by the window.
Oh.
The cord pulled out. Over this cable. Okay.
Good.
Back. Yep.
Nice.
No, that's not bad. And then it should be long rest.
Yeah. You do one on this end and then you just do the rest?
Well, so we might have to take this and see how we're...
Yeah.
So we'll have to pull out and kind of push it back in a little bit.
Okay.
So let me get this edge real quick.
Okay.
Alright, so this is their finished, I don't know what the hell to call this.
Armrest, side console, dash
yeah.
thing.
So, it turned out pretty good. We got it nailed all in. Like I said, there's my 3 controls for my headlights, my dimmer, and my clearance lights, and our door switch. Broke out a little piece of wood there, glued it, but whatever. So yeah, that's it. It's in there nice and solid, and yeah, one step done for the day.
It is getting dark, so we are going to head inside. That's all for today. We got the metal transition piece for that space right there. There's going to be wood transition pieces out here by our actual floor, but that is all for now. And honestly, I think a lot more of our videos from here forward are going to be more like, this is what we accomplished this week on the bus, instead of maybe like how-tos and instructional videos, because I feel like if we wait until we are done with a task, you'll get a video once a month maybe. So anyway, thank you as always for watching, guys. If you have any comments, please leave them below, like, subscribe, all the things, and we'll see you next time. And I want to get it going before I...
Yeah.
This is terrifying.
It's just a straight cut. On
So it
this
should
side
be
of the line.
easy. Oh,
Just
yeah.
in the box is the getting.
Good?
Just do it.
I'm scared. I don't want to do it.
Just go faster and do it. Who's your trigger?
I am. I'm holding it. Woo! God, no, I'm not putting